Ezt a videót a lisszaboni CCCC konferencia alatt készítettük, ahol sikerült elkapnom Joshuát, aki a Mantle-nél tölti be a Head of Product pozíciót. Joshua akkor több olyan infót is megosztott velünk, ami még egyébként a Mantle közössége számára is újdonságnak számít. Sokat beszéltünk például arról, hogy a Mantle és a Bybit csapata még szorosabbra fűzte az együttműködést, és hogy ez mit jelent a termékfejlesztés, a likviditás meg az ökoszisztémaépítés számára. Beszéltünk arról is, hogy miben más és bizonyos szempontból miért lehet akár még erősebb is a Mantle saját tokenje, az MNT, a BNB-hez viszonyítva. Illetve előkerült az is, hogy ennek mentén hogyan építi újra a Mantle az MNT token modelljét. Végül külön blokkot szenteltünk annak, hogy miért fordul egyre több figyelem a Real World Assets narratívára a Mantle házatáján, és hogy ez hogyan illeszkedik a hosszú távú stratégiájukba. Ha fektetsz Mantle tokenbe, vagy tervezel bevásárolni, akkor ezt az interjút mindenképp ajánlom, most pedig következzen a beszélgetés.
So we are here with Joshua from the Mantle team. You are the head of product at Mantle.
Yes.
Welcome to the MakeItCount channel.
Thank you.
We are here in Lisbon, and we are just before the evening gala dinner.
Yes.
It's gonna be really exciting.
It'll be quite exciting. I'm looking forward to things like Elon Musk's mother, meeting her in person, hopefully shaking some hands. Yeah, some pretty cool names. Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time and
Yes.
answer a couple of questions about Mantle. So I don't really want to waste the time. I just get on the questions.
Sure.
So I think we should start with the team. What is the size of Mantle today? I mean, and what kind of talent did you attract?
Yeah, so the team has both full-time and sort of part-time positions. I think the strength hovers around 70 to 80 people. And I think that that number will fluctuate over time as different people come and go, especially on more strategic kind of part-time basis. And that's relatively big, I would say, for a network team, especially in the layer 2 space. And yeah, I would say the makeup of the people and their kind of skill sets varies a lot, but I would say it's quite diversified. Some of them come from centralized exchange backgrounds, some of them from traditional financial backgrounds, which we will talk more about, the category of real world assets. And yeah, people like me, I used to come from banking. So I used to work at Citibank for 7 years. I made it to middle management, sort of VP level, and then saw the future of blockchain, and got my hands dirty, and yeah, ended up in Mantle. Yeah.
Cool. You already mentioned layer 2.
Yes.
And most of our viewers know about Mantle and how it's worked, but can you elaborate that why Mantle uses as gas fee the Mantle token and not Ethereum as other layer 2s?
Yeah, that's really interesting because the story of Mantle is it was originally an investment DAO, back in the day known as BitDAO, which then became Mantle, the token MNT. This token actually existed even before we actually had the technology of a network, and it was really to service the value of MNT. And MNT is a completely fixed supply token, and to protect the kind of the value and the accrual of MNT, we thought, what's the best way to deploy this technology? Layer 2s have the magical ability of being able to be extremely secure as Ethereum in terms of block production, without inflationary rewards. So what that means is actually like MNT is really like this extremely deflationary token, fixed supply, and can accrue all the benefits of network adoption and the technology of blockchain. And the last thing I would say is Ethereum EVM compatible, so any smart contracts that you will otherwise use in Ethereum using Solidity, you can build it on our chain, which is one of the largest kind of language for programmable and DeFi in the ecosystem. So all that good benefits end up into MNT.
But it's gonna be much faster and cheaper.
Yes, so it's order of magnitudes cheaper than Ethereum, and block production times are rapidly faster, and we even have pre-confirmations, which is fractions of a second. Yeah.
Right. We already touched the topic that how close is the collaboration between the Mantle and the Bybit teams? Do you share like workspaces? Do you work together? How it works?
Yeah, so we're we're totally separate companies, but as you can tell, the roots run deep for many reasons. Well, firstly, even in the early days, Bybit was a key participant in BitDAO, so there was a very strong relationship even from there. But it was mostly like, a relationship of like a big investor, right? Yeah. But it wasn't really a relationship of operational and of thinking about the common objectives and the common vision for the future. So Mantle has been very much, a strong partner of Bybit for many years, but really only quite recently became very, very close.
I see.
Yeah. So if you talk about operationally, we have very strong calls. As you can tell, one of the things that is known is Emily and Helen, who are top executives at Bybit, really at the very top, are our advisors. So we do have very common syncing calls constantly about how our objectives are aligned and to achieve the common vision with Bybit and Mantle. And with that, we also sometimes we do meet each other physically, so there's common spaces, common ways of thinking and working, common frameworks of understanding as well. And as you can tell, you can slowly see it even in the way Bybit products have used for MNT.
Yeah. Because many people compare MNT to the BNB ecosystem, but that's only the surface, and we already talked about. But how would you differentiate the Mantle token or Mantle from Binance's BNB?
Yeah. So I think first of all, this story of how close we are is very recent, right? So we're talking about it, ever since the strong strategic advisors that came in. It's as recent as that. BNB and Binance has been there from the get-go, and it was always a very it was always a thing for the centralized exchange. In some sense, this is the right time, right place to achieve these common objectives. And this is also, a form of alpha, right? Because I think this level of knowledge about how close MNT and Mantle is with Bybit is not, something that is so well known today. And it's one of the reasons why we have to speak to creators, to content creators, and why we are at the C4 event is because this message is so new, and the relationship running deep is very new. Now, the second thing I want to say is, how does this relationship really tangibly achieve its goals? Mantle is going to be heavily focused on a direction for real-world assets. So I think previously we would talk about Mantle as like, hey, this is a fourth largest L2 in the space. We're just like any other L2. We're kind of like event compatible. We support anything. Yes, to this day, the technology achieves that goal. But really, because of the kind of talent that we have at Mantle, people who have strong investment backgrounds, strong traditional financial backgrounds, we really see the future vision of both centralized exchange and a blockchain as a future of being part of the regulated financial infrastructure. And you see that with the regulations. So as the regulations become clearer, even in the centralized exchange businesses, there is a lot of opportunities to get clarity over licensing, get clarity over touching real-world financial assets. And the same happens to tokenization of real-world assets. So we were almost at the right time, right place, right journey. And if for whoever who receives this information, will realize like this is a really good time where we can address the total addressable market of real-world assets. Think about it. Real-world assets is hundreds of trillions. It's a far, far larger total addressable market to what crypto market cap is right now.
For sure.
And that's really where the vision is for the future. So you can imagine that's why we want to be the RWA chain. And that will be a fundamental kind of a difference from thinking about BNB or any of these other players that have this vertical distribution infrastructure with centralized exchange.
What do you think? Who is the largest competitor? I mean, what do you think? What token or what ecosystem is your competitor in the real-world assets future?
Yeah, so real-world assets is a tricky one. It's a new narrative. Some of them, one might consider maybe Ripple. But Ripple, I would say it's kind of like more like the bank chain narrative.
Yeah.
So it's more about just maybe it's stable coins and bank deposits. But it's not really something that touches beyond that, right?
It's not really TradFi, but like replacing the SWIFT system or something like that.
And then the next closest one was Plume. Plume. So Plume is probably best known as the L2 of RWA chain distribution. And then maybe the third one, which unfortunately isn't as famous now because of some controversies in the space, is Mantra. Yeah. Right. So real asset is really an underserved category even on its own. I do believe, currently when you see these other competitors, it's still relatively small apart from Ripple. And so it's really ripe for a rethink, a re-energization of this market. And the regulations are correct. The appetite of traditional financial players and their regulators are getting hungry as we speak. Yeah. So it almost seems like the perfect narrative and the opportunity for us to really double down on.
Oh, okay, I get it. And that's new information. So yes. Thank you for clearing that. You know that Micah is driving Bybit's rapid expansion in Europe. And I'm curious if you envision Bybit directly integrating the MNT token like Binance for like trading fees, VIP programs, staking rewards, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think I do believe, I cannot really directly speak for the current work that's been done in Bybit, but I do believe that there's a lot of intention. So just to highlight, right, on the Bybit global side, the MNT utility is already running quite deep. So you can see on every of the key primitives like trading, even on perps, even on earn programs, and finally even VIP holding, all the utilities run deep. Even discount for trading is there. Launch pools are there. It's just a matter of how much the regulations and the design of Bybit EU can evolve over time to enable this to happen. So as much as they can find that regulatory clarity for, I do believe it's something that they will explore. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to add to that, right, Bybit EU itself, as you can see from that kind of move by Bybit, it's really a clear example of how Bybit is really very serious about their licensing and distribution in every market in a way to slowly go beyond what they can otherwise just do with their standard global products. Okay. Think about why would one need to seek licensing in these relevant jurisdictions. The holy grail is really to eventually reach traditional finance. Think about the ability for your lives to be impacted by, I'll give you an analogy, it would be like Revolut. So when Revolut first started out, it was for a specific niche use case, right? The niche use case was cross-border funds transfers. But you can see Revolut's ambition wasn't just to do that. They eventually did banking, and they did wealth management. They did even business, SME, small business account management, and then they start to go up. So, and they know that, if you think about it, they also moved heavily into the crypto side. Yeah. So the crypto guys, or rather, whoever is regularly in the crypto space, their ambition must be going in the other direction. So it's natural that RWAs and real assets will become the topic where both sides actually converge. And it is in this kind of approach that the strategies all collide into real assets, and that's why you can think of us as the main place where we're going to be the warehouse for this.
Okay, okay, I see. Also, a bit more about Mantle, and we already talked about the tokens utilities, and I know that Mantle Treasury is one of the largest in crypto. What's the long-term vision for it, or what is the main goal with it?
Yeah, so that's very interesting. So Mantle has been around for very long as a treasury.
Yeah.
And it has grown to become the largest on-chain treasury in the world. That's a very meaningful statement to represent that, the type of talent that we have and the way we think is always about, M&T's value and M&T's value accrual. We're very deliberate about that in order for, and why is that case? Because who benefits most when the treasury is biggest?
Yeah.
M&T owners. So, think about the analogy of, your S&P 500 company out there, right? Their C-level executives, they always talk about their duty to shareholders. I think this is a rare quality in Web3. I think a lot of ecosystems out there, they think of the token as a way of subsidy. Like, hey guys, everybody just get it for free. And they're not really thinking about how do we accrue value to the ecosystem. But the very fact that we always think about the treasury as a place to drive value and thinking from the investment mindset, I think that's where M&T gets its value from. Yeah.
Okay. I also wanted to ask a lot more about treasuries, but
Yeah.
but this there is a new narrative, the digital asset treasuries.
Yeah.
With Ethereum and Solana and stuff like that, and it feels like one of the most exciting developments about treasuries
Yes.
in common. What do you think? Do you know any companies planning to build a Mantle treasury for themselves, like a digital asset treasury?
I do hear there have been conversations. The thing about this type of opportunity is mostly about more fresh capital, right? So the idea is that, hey, with this vehicle, you can bring in more fiat liquidity into the space, but this may not be the only way we can do it, or the community can do it. So I think it's still in discussion. So there's no clear outcome from this yet.
Yeah. I'm really curious how it's gonna turn out, because I think it's a huge bet for these companies, and I don't really see the risk of part of these kind of treasuries.
Yeah, so I think recently, because it's looking more like the market's a little bit more difficult, right? So digital asset treasuries at this period, especially copycats of Bitcoin, for example, they're underperforming significantly. So I think it depends on market conditions. So if a player wants to do this, they have to think about the right time, right space. And that's more about the macroeconomic environment, in my honest observation right now. So I think it really depends on the right time. Yeah,
for sure. What are the key milestones coming up for Mantle?
Yes, so I think we are looking forward to tokenized stocks that's coming on. So one of the closest partners for stock tokenization, X stocks, which already Bybit has listed it first, one of the first. It's now coming on Mantle, so we're looking forward to that whole operation. It will come by this year. We're also looking forward to more explorations over what we call native asset tokenization. So I think that to me is a big unlock of the industry. One of the challenges around real world assets is liquidity and capital efficiency. It's not really working. So in some sense, in order to purchase these things through fiat liquidity, you kind of like have to take liquidity from Web3, and that capital inefficient process is really difficult, and also prices are not really mark to market. So we're looking forward to a couple of innovations. One is RFQ type systems that can quote directly and pull out the right pricing from fiat type markets. The second is native tokenization, where things of assets that are really living on potentially even national ledgers can come on chain. I think that is really the true unlock, and this is quite a huge dependency over how the regulators' comfort is and how things would evolve over time. But this is the trend that we're seeing, and once we could ever unlock that, that's where actually the inventory of the real world becomes liquidity for the crypto world.
It's really exciting.
That has not yet been seen as a key unlock yet, But once that hits the markets, that's usually where the so, it's no longer 0 to 1. It's now the 1 to 100.
Yeah.
That's where the 100 win comes.
What do you think? What's the time frame for this? Like for the first tokenization events that actually could be tradable?
Yeah. So for the things like X stocks, they were really coming by this year for sure. We are also looking forward to increasing the depth of our DeFi markets. We bring in Aave and all that, so that's coming in. More stable coins as well are coming in. We even have USD1 coming in. Short term, we also can see even better user experiences. So from Bybit's interaction with on-chain products on Mantle, this will also be part of the short-term plan. But earlier, what I was talking about is more longer duration. It requires, unique licensing, unique aspects of the product, and working with regulators. So all this stuff is in the works. But I'm quite confident that it's something within a couple of months. It's not something we're thinking like another cycle.
Okay.
And this is something that's in the works. Yeah.
Thanks. Finally, if you had to sum it up in one sentence, why is it worth holding MNT tokens?
Yeah, so I think personally, I mean, this is for personal opinion, not investment advice. I really do think the ecosystem's underlying value and its relationships with all the large distribution partners, I do feel that it's a little bit underpriced. Honestly, it used to be for fundamental reasons where structurally we were not able to be of one mind, of one distribution with all our strongest partners. Yeah. But now with the more recent alignment and careful it's almost like an orchestra. And we're now, now the trombones are playing, now the violins are playing, and they're all under a well-orchestrated environment. We're very confident of this future. And I think this is still very new. Because even as a player talking to all the other top players in the ecosystem, this information is not yet out there, or rather it has been misunderstood. Yeah. And this is what we're really investing in and making sure that everyone knows. And I think that is to me the most important thing about my confidence of MNT.
I think it was a really nice conversation, and thank you for the insights and clearing up things. Yeah. I hope we can continue it soon. So thank you for that, and I let you to bring on your duties because I know you already had like 4 podcasts and the interviews and stuff like that.
No, I would love to come back to this interview sometime in the future, and when we realize some of these visions. I do think that the industry hasn't really seen this narrative yet take flight. Yeah. I mean, to be very frank, we 6 months ago, we were all about stablecoins, and we've realized that dream. And I think it's like now the narrative that has already taken its flight. Yeah. I think where it goes is this category, and truth be told, people are skeptical. They are skeptical because they can't see beyond the currents, right? So they can't see beyond that, and to me, that's where we really want to realize that dream.
Thank you, Joshua, for taking the time, and talk soon.
Yeah, talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.